this is an incredible time. This is an incredible moment. What are we really saying? We are saying that tomorrow matters. And this is their journey to tomorrow. And we have the opportunity to be part of it. Young people, older people, young people from different parts of the states, different parts of the world have come together not just to have a great weekend, but to have reason to build a great life. To have reason to build a great life. Because we know your value. You are the citizen trustees of your respective communities. This is who you are. You may not think of yourselves as a citizen trustee, but as I tell young people when I travel, Yellowstone Park is yours. The monuments that surround the Potomac, these are yours. You are incredible. You are the citizen trustees. You are the men and women to which we will give this incredible nation. Have you ever thought of it like that? What's your name? Derek, come on with me for a second. You know, Derek, we're going to give something to you. You know, November the 19th, 1863, Abraham Lincoln said, 77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, one conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. But now we are engaged in a great civil war, and we are testing whether this nation or any nation, so conceived and so dedicated, can long endure. Well, do you know that the endurance of this nation depends upon Derek? That's right. Not another guy, but you. You are a citizen trustee. That means, in addition to being a citizen of this great country, you also have the responsibility for taking care of it. And that's why this is so important. Because we want you to understand that this democracy that we enjoy is dependent upon young boys and girls becoming citizen trustees of this great nation. I want you to do your best. I want you to make America proud. Okay? Yeah. But even as I talk with Derek about becoming a citizen trustee, this was a fact that I would later learn. Because I grew up at a time and an era in the Mississippi Delta when my life was not necessarily looked upon as a life that would bring great significance to our country, as a partner in the shaping of this great democracy. I grew up in the fields of the Delta. Those are the same fields that my great-grandparents picked and chopped cotton, my grandparents, my parents, and so did I. This is not an archival picture. This was my world. And it was in that world that I lived that I never really imagined that I could be here today. Because I would often find myself sitting on my grandpa's front porch with my knees pulled up to my chin, looking as far as I could see. And all I could see was cotton fields. You know, you guys got tall buildings. You got expressways. You got iPods. You got so much to shape your imagination. But this was my world. This was my imagination. This is what I saw. This is what I had to see every single day of my life. This is what I saw. But then there were people who came into my life to make a difference. See, these were the circumstances of my life. I was born to a teenage mom. You know, that alone sets you up for failure for a great extent. I didn't have the pleasure of a mom and a dad and a picket fence and a dog named Curly. I didn't have that. I didn't meet my birth dad until I was 17. And even then, that meeting was not the best meeting. And that's why, as a father today, you know, my son, I love the ground my son walk on. He's 29. I call him every day, and he tells me, he said, "Dad, you just talked to me 2 hours ago. Nothing has changed." And I said, "I know that, but I just want you to know I love you." "I know you do, Dad, but I never had a dad to tell me that. And I know how much I wanted that. So I tell my 29-year-old boy every day, I love you." Who are you dating now? Dad, you don't need to know. Yes, I do. Tell me. I want to know. Because your mother wants to know. Tell me. I need to know this stuff. And he said, oh, Dad. But meeting my dad was not the best. I lived in a number of homes. So I understand when kids find themselves from one place to another and trying to find an anchor that they can literally hold on to. I understand that. But I also understand what is possible. I worked the fields of the Delta, and on top of all of that, I was burdened with legal segregation. Simply because of the color of my skin, everything was dictated to me. Where I would live, where I would work, where I would go to school, what I would do or what I would not do. I had no choice. The choices were already made. But then there were people, and that's what the big tent is all about. The big tent is all about then there were people. There are still adults who really truly care about your future. There are adults who have dedicated their lives to the idea that if I can implant in the head of a child how important they are in spite of their circumstances, we can bring about incredible change. If I can help a young man understand that tomorrow is your best day, we can make a difference. These people have gathered to build community. And in the book I wrote, 8 Habits of the Heart, I remember a place where we valued each other and we shared our lives. And that's what this is about. This is about teaching us what it means to be a community, what it means to help people to live beyond their circumstances, to accomplish more than they thought they ever could. It's more than just filling out a piece of paper. It's more than just having fun. It's that, but it's also about life. It's about the fact that at some point, this world will be placed in your hands. And you will have the responsibility of making decisions as to how it looks, how it behaves, and what happens. And if we let you down, we cannot expect you to be the citizen trustees that we know you should be. That's why we gather, to build community, to give you a sense of who you are. Because somebody thought I mattered when it mattered. That makes all the difference. You see, now at 14, this is the time to think you matter. This is the time to be in control. This is the time to show you how the future should look. I don't want to wait until you get 25 and making $2 million and then think you matter. No, you matter now. This is what we're saying. You matter now. But more importantly, you have to understand that. You have to understand that you matter now. You have to understand that this country is dependent upon you. When Abraham Lincoln said, this nation, how can this nation endure? He asked a rhetorical question that is being answered by every generation. It becomes your time. When you become a man, you have to stand up and you have to say, Mr. President, I know what is required of me and I'm determined to do it. You have to know that you matter. You understand that? You have to know that. Everybody has to know that you matter.